Welcome back. This is Genesis with Sozo Education and Beauty Supply, and we are going to make some Valentine's Day pedicure bath molds, or bath bombs, I guess, with the multi-mold from Soapfistication. This has been an absolute game changer when trying to do a ton of these at one time. You can create a multitude of different designs so much quicker. So I did a total of 31 of these in approximately 24 minutes. So I guess maybe a little bit more time when you talk about actually mixing like all of the mixture together. But from start to finish of the molding process was 24 minutes. So about a minute per bath bomb. I think that's pretty good for doing these types of them, because the tinier ones, it's really hard for my hands to do it individually. So having said that, we'll walk you through how to be able to use this mold. The easiest way that I've found to work with it is to put it inside of this dishwashing container. You can get these at the dollar store. That way, all of the excess mix that you have left over, you can be able to put it back into your bowl. And even when you're doing like multiple colors, I won't put it back into my same mold, but I'll put it back into like a dump bowl essentially. So that way I could use that as a different layer component to this whole thing. So really trying to keep the mix centered inside of that mold, so that way there's not a bunch of excess mix on the outside. Will really help you if you are trying to do multiple different colors and keep them all really consistent. I find with these that I can fit 2 of the embeds that are about a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch in there really well. I would like to see with my embed maker in the future if I could possibly do a 3-color one and make it just a little bit skinnier for when I do these types of molds. But right now I'm just trying to go through excess mix or excess embeds, I should say, and then I will switch over, I think, to completely doing the embed bars. It's such a hard decision. So the last amount that I do here, because I don't want very much of a Saturn ring on there, is just a little bit over the top of where the mold ends. And that's purely just so that way the sphere portion of the top will be able to press down and still compact everything the way that it needs to. So don't think that you have to like way overload these to be able to have a good sphere in the end. That is not the case with this particular mold. So makes this one beautiful. All those little individual cups that I just put on top of there, this allows the unmolding process to be so much easier than any other sphere mold or multi-mold that I have tried. So here I'm just trying to tap to get rid of all that extra mix. You can take a skewer or something to go down the center of it if you need to, if it was just like too compacted. But all I'm doing right now is trying to get rid of excess mix. Off camera, I do have my juice press. So I'm kind of going along on each corner because it's approximately 3 inches by 3 inches. So I'm just going on every side of the corners to make sure that they are compacted really well. And that way it saves my hands like amazing. So trying to get organized here because this kind of does take a little bit more room, I guess, to be able to get this whole process going. But tap the outsides just like you would for a typical 3D printed mold. Line up the pusher on the underneath. You're going to tap the top just a little bit to make sure that everything is loosened onto there, and remove that top plate, or I guess it was the base plate. And amazing. These are so cute. They have just that little bit of sparkle in them. These are sugar sprinkles, so they're just going to dissolve into the pedicure bath. The fact that the outsides of this have that like rounded part, it makes it super easy to be able to push it down. Hopefully I show you this better as we go down. But basically with that, this metal piece is just a little bit larger. If I remember correctly, I think it's a 1.8 size for the metal. And the bath bombs that I'm making are 1.75. That feels like it's really large. I'll make sure I type it into the bottom. But the takeaway is the metal is just a little bit larger. So that way, as these kind of expand when they dry, they don't get stuck inside of those molds. So maybe it's 1.35. That's going to really, so maybe the metal is 1.35 and then the bath bomb molds are like 1.25. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward this through the rest of everything else just so you can kind of see, because I even get into a groove, every single time I do this. So it just takes me a second to kind of really get a hold on it. So if you were to make these all day long, then you would get even quicker because it's just so easy. She did a really amazing job in creating this mold. As usual, if you have any questions, please pop them in the comments. I would love to be able to share what I have learned through all of this process. If you would like to be able to purchase these, I'm going to have them in a kit, basically, that I'm going to be selling at the Painted Tree. So I'm going to fit as many as I can into this little cute Valentine's Day container and have those up for sale, as well as these will be my scent of the month for all of my clients for February. The fragrance I used is Peach Magnolia Raspberry from Nature's Garden, if I remember correctly. I will also put that down into the comments to make sure that if you love it, you can get it as well. Have a great day and happy making.
you